Good Friday morning. Welcome to Kramer's Corner. This is the daily technical updates. It is Friday the 14th of July. And just before the weekend, market was a little bit crazy again yesterday. After US numbers, we had S&P 500 above 4,500. Very close to testing resistance around 45, 46. Could spike up to 4,600 here on the short term. But we seem to be in the need of a bit of a correction, but the overall uptrend is fairly strong. We have here on the daily chart where we have the RSI above the falling trend line. There's still divergence, so you see that the peaks here are still dropping, but with the higher levels yesterday, both on the index and the RSI, we could trade out that. And if we do that, then we need to see it above the peak here back from a couple of weeks ago. More or less the same picture on Nasdaq 100 after it took out the resistance at 15,265, seems on course to 16,000, and also here we have the all-time highs. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it will be tested, probably not here in July, but in later in Q3. So very strong US markets, contrary to the European markets. We have DAX. Yes, we are back above the cloud after bouncing from 15,482. We are still not getting the RSI back above 60, and I would wait for that to call higher highs. This is the all-time high, so I'll wait a little bit. I want to see that. So it's struggling a little bit, but still be above the cloud, so we could be back in bullish mode. If we take out 16,210, well, then the uptrend has been confirmed. AEX testing 777 resistance level. Trying to get higher here towards the 802, but we need a close back above. We need a close back above 777. So look out for that one. The RSI is showing that we should get higher. CAC still caught in this range, so not really much to say there. Before the weekend, should we just have a quick look at Hang Seng? Nice bounce here, but struggle to really get upside momentum, fading throughout the session. Couldn't hold on above the cloud here and the 19,500 level, so that's a little bit worried there. The Japanese Nikkei index and the here in the form of the CFD, struggling to really bounce back here, so we could see bears trying to push it lower, so maybe we're in for a larger correction. Let's see if it takes out the lows around here, 31,777. Well, then we could look down to around 31,000. A lot of stuff happened on a lot of action on the FX front. We had euro dollar propelling higher towards the 112.70 level, which is the 138 projection. A little bit overbought, but there's still no divergence on the RSI, so we are likely to see higher levels if we close the week above 111.85, which I believe we will do. Then there is more upside potential to 114.85 in coming weeks and months, but a little bit of a setback should be expected. On the yen front, let's zoom out a little bit. I think let's do this so we can see it, because now I got a lot of lines on here. So finding support around 137.50, just dipping below, almost touching the 100 and 200 moving average. That they are both almost flat there. Bouncing a little bit this morning, and I did expect a bounce. We talked about it yesterday, and we should see a bounce back up to potentially 139, but potentially I think we could look back above the 140 level. The RSI is still bearish. So there is downside pressure, but this massive sell-off, we should see a bounce towards 140, and then maybe we'll have a next way down. That's really hard to say, but for now it could be that the correction is over. So, but keep an eye on the lows here today. If it takes out that 137.20 level, well, then we are looking at 135.5 around that, which would be the 61.8 retracement of the uptrend since March, which that would be a fairly normal, larger correction, however, and testing the lower range of the cloud there. On the other yen pairs, sterling yen bouncing from the rising trend line and the 179.90 area, and I think that was really the correction. But look out for these if it breaks below the lows from yesterday, and if it breaks below the obviously the rising trend line, then we could be in for a larger correction down to around 175. Euro yen, more or less the same picture, bouncing just above the rising trend line here, and I think we could see a move up to around 156, possibly 157. But then we could be in a slightly rising or a range-bound area here for the next 2 weeks or so. On the dollar index, which is quite interesting after a massive sell-off last few days, here we have the weekly chart. 98.60 and 97.44 level here around the 200 weekly moving average. That's kind of a consolidation area, and I do believe we will see this area to be tested. You can see the RSI below the 40 level. It's actually been like that for quite some time, and then yesterday finally, Wednesday finally broke below. So we are in a bearish trend on the dollar index. On Aussie dollar, moving towards the 69.20 resistance. A break of that, then we will test the falling trend line. And a break of that, then we're looking at 71.30s level. But there's still some strong overhead resistance, and RSI needs to break back above 60. On the commodities front, gold touched the 1963, which was the 38.2 retracement yesterday. Trying again today, can break above it. We did get the RSI. No, we didn't. We didn't get the RSI back above 60. It's just it cheated a little bit. My RS there. We need a break above. We need a break above that, but there's some overhead resistance here with the cloud and 2000 obviously. So I would say the next couple of days we'll probably see a little bit of weakness, a little bit of setback before we'll probably have the next attempt. As you can see here on the weekly, the correction seems to be over, more or less. Not more or less, but the silver very strong above 24.50 resistance, went straight through, and we're looking at 25.90, 26, and a change there. Oil keep going higher. Brent very close to 83 resistance, and the 200 moving average coming down. The WTI touching the 200 moving average. I think we could see a move up to 79.80, possibly, maybe even up to 83 in coming weeks. But there's some strong resistance around the 79. And finally, on copper, trying to get back about this 396 level here, but it's really struggling at the moment. It really needs to get momentum. But if you are bull on copper, well, RSI is back in bullish mode, and it's back above 60. So there should be potential to break the 4 level. Finally on yields. Zoom out a little bit on yields. We have it's testing the 38.2 retracement, or dip just below here at 375 from the lows since April, May, and I think we will see a correction there. well, not a correction. I think we'll see the uptrend to resume. Actually, if we get back above this rising trend line here, then we could call the correction to be over. What is interesting is that RSI is still bullish, and there's no divergence indicating we will see yields to revert to uptrend again. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice Friday and a nice weekend. I'll talk to you again Monday. Thank you.